Is up, you guys? What is up, you guys? Let's see if we're gonna get some notifications. Let me see. Okay, YouTube just got the stream. Waiting on some notifications to come through, and I just got the notification. Need to do a mic check to see. Mic is sounding good. So, hey y'all, we are the Rosharon Frenchie breeders, home of the 3K pup, baby. And tonight we have a special surprise because we will be talking about how we handle the mental load with the babies, the bulldogs, and the business. Okay, so okay. So it looks like YouTube, is doing us right tonight because they pushed out our notification really fast. I'm not sure if it's YouTube love or if it is the fiber working in the house. Okay, I have a couple of announcements, but I want to shout out to my husband. Pay to that liver, pay to that liver, pay to that liver on the live. Thank y'all so much for liking the live stream. Shout out to our members. I see we have a legacy legend in the building. Shout out to all in the family 706. Okay, working on their marketing and their branding. Also, working on scaling their business and extending another arm on Instagram. So definitely shout out to all in the family. And I see a new subscriber on the live as well, Planet Mimsy. Okay, shout out to Planet Mimsy. I think this is your first time commenting. Not sure if you are an old subscriber or a new subscriber, but thank you for the feedback on the microphone. Okay, JD, and we got JD in the building tonight. So, y'all, I'm really excited about this live stream because, as y'all know, we are in breeding season. So, we have been dedicating our time, our energy, and our efforts to live training, live daily training each and every day. We're striving to build that muscle to not only be in front of the camera, but be able to articulate ourselves in an education, in an entertainingly educational way, even with the babies. So we're going to delve into that topic a little bit tonight because we do realize that what we do is not normal. We do understand that we're not operating in our own strength, that we are relying on the strength of God. And that is the only reason why we've been able to do what we do, how we do it, and in the magnitude that we have been able to do it. So we are in year 2 of our business and we have accomplished a lot. Thank you, babe, for reminding me about the weather here. We definitely wanted to go live a little earlier tonight because the weather is supposed to get bad here soon. Not sure if you have been affected in your area, but y'all be safe and double tap the screen, double tap the screen for me. Please double tap the screen, double tap the screen, double tap the screen for me, please. Thank y'all for liking the live stream. Y'all, we ain't gonna waste no time about it. Let me put up our poll because I like to see what you guys are thinking, how you're feeling. I'm gonna put up our poll. Uh-oh, hold on now. Y'all typing in tonight. You're typing in tonight. Okay, let me put up our poll and then I want to see how you guys feel about it. Okay, so who okay, I got a good one tonight, y'all. I got a good one tonight. Okay. So wait, I want to move the camera back. Okay, so the question tonight is who is supposed to take on the load in business? Ooh, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And I want to know if it is the husband or the wife. I we doing it tonight. I want to know. I want to know how you feel. Okay, it's almost done. Oh, I should put the children, but no, I'm not gonna put the children. Um, let's see. Let's see if we can get some entertaining answers tonight. Okay, so I just put up the poll, y'all. I want you to answer the poll. So let me show y'all really quickly. Okay, so this is the poll. We have some votes already. So I asked who is supposed to take on the load in business. I'm very curious about this. Very, very, very curious about this. Because as y'all know, we just bred our girl Dream and it cost $2,546.54 already. And that's before we saw a puppy or a profit. Okay. That is just the initial breeding cost. $2,500, baby. We spent our mortgage to breed Dream already. And again, we're trusting God that this will be a successful breeding. Well, I'm gonna be honest, the breeding process was very successful. I feel like Pro K9 handled themselves very professionally, and we have no complaints there. The first picture you saw my husband and August inseminating Dream. We did the TCI live, and August allowed us to film the entire process. I just released that video yesterday. Um, and then here you see my husband, wrapping Dream up and getting her ready to go home. We put a diaper on her to leave because we didn't want none of little piggy banks, swimming at in the car. So we put a diaper on her. To be honest, y'all, my mind was all over the place. I was so busy, worried about getting the content. I wasn't even worried about a diaper, but my husband caught that. So definitely shout out to my husband. I'm gonna give you guys a little more time to answer the poll, and we're gonna talk about it. And then y'all already know for our OGs, for our returning OGs tonight, we will be starting chapter 2 of The Richest Man in Babylon. So before Dreams Litter gets here, y'all, I'm claiming it. I'm claiming it. Before Dreams Litter gets here, we kind of want to be more business savvy. I feel like we know a lot, but I feel like we can know a lot more. And I feel like you should always be a forever student. When I finished grad school, I just felt like there was still a hole in my heart because let me see, I finished grad school in 2011, and after getting married and I think I was pregnant with trust. I'm not even sure. I think I was pregnant with trust. I don't know, but I went back to school and finished my degree, another degree last year, and it's still a little hole in my heart. I'm like, I want to go back to school, and I just told my husband, I'm like, man, I want to go back to school. I want to get my doctorate, or I want to do something. Like I just love learning. I love the experience of stretching my mind and seeing, what my capacity is for learning new things and challenging some of my old beliefs. But that's just a little bit about me. If you guys are new here, welcome. We are the Rosharon Frenchie breeders, home of the 3K pup. We just bred our girl Dream, who you see to I guess the right of my screen. It should be your right as well. We bred her to Piggy Bank Baby, Piggy Bank Baby. We bred her to a horse, not in a bad way, in a good way, but we bred her to the ultimate Merle stud, a blue chocolate Merle stud. Am I leaving anything out? Yeah, a blue chocolate Merle stud. Shout out to Exotic Luxury Litters out in Dallas, Texas. Y'all, I think Dallas is supposed to get it really, really, really bad. So we definitely want to wish Tiffany and fam, safe travels and their whole camp and everybody else in Texas and the surrounding areas. But we said we would still be disciplined and go live tonight. And if you are new here, we have started reading to our community because why? We don't want to just get money. We want to keep money and then teach other people how to do the same. So here our motto is we want to help families get out of debt, stay out of debt, and teach others how to do the same so that they can leave a family inheritance for their children's children. And then we do have memberships open where we teach our members how to turn content into cash. So if that is something that you're interested in, definitely let us know. Okay, so now y'all, let me put the topic back on the screen and let me get to some comments and then we're going to get to the community poll because I want to know what y'all think. Okay. Okay, so let me see. Let me see. Your girl didn't already shower tonight. I'm looking a little glossy. Don't mind me. Okay. Shout out to JD being here. Okay, so JD said, "Hope all is warm." That's very thoughtful of you, JD. Platinum Mimsy said, "Old subscriber." Oh, Siren Sims. Okay, babe. Okay, we talked to him. I think you're from New York, right? Let me know. I think you're from New York. Yeah, I think we talked to you. Okay. My husband said, "How is the weather by you?" Okay, so baby is concerned about you guys as well. All in the family is representing Augusta, Georgia. Okay. And he said it's getting cold out here. Okay, bro, y'all gotta bunker down now. JD, I'm not sure where you guys are. Remind me if you don't mind sharing. Remind me where you guys are. State at least. So we'll definitely be praying for all of y'all. JD said roads are starting to get slick. Y'all, please be safe. We are definitely in for the night. Okay. All in the family said freezing starts tonight. Babe said, I don't like the cold at all. Y'all, my husband is from the Caribbean. Guess what, baby? I don't even think my baby done seen a lick of snow. Oh, he has. It snowed in 2020. Was that last year? What, babe? Did it snow last year? That's when I think we had just Bread Dream, I think. Because I remember we had Wagyu. Okay. JD said my pups don't either. Okay, I'm coming, y'all. I'm coming. I'm trying to get caught up and then I'm going to the poll. Because somebody's trying to be petted tonight. Okay. Baby saying back home it doesn't get cold at all. Nope, it does not. Dominica, we miss you. Okay. Okay. All in the family 706 said Instagram about to jump all in. What's up? Y'all subscribe to my brother's new Instagram page. It's at All in the Family Frenchies 25. Yes, I remembered your handle. Okay. Bro, I was wondering why y'all ain't do All in the Family Frenchie 706 to make it cohesive. But if you have a plan and I don't understand, correct me. Because I could definitely be wrong. Okay. Planet Mimsy said, I say both. Okay, so he's ready to jump in the poll. Okay, so Planet Mimsy is saying, oh, and please do tell us the meaning of your name as well. But so I asked you guys, who is supposed to take on the load in business? One person said the husband. If you don't mind sharing, if you are the person who answered the husband is supposed to take on the load in business, please share your thoughts. And if you voted for both the husband and the wife to take on the load in business, do share your thoughts as well. I want to hear from y'all tonight, okay? Because YouTube is saying, I don't care how many people are on the live chat. I want to see them interacting and commenting because if y'all are spamming the interwebs, I will not recommend your content. So if you can share briefly how you feel, why you voted, how you voted, and give us some insight. Okay, so let's see. My husband said, okay, he agrees, both the husband and the wife. Okay. All in the family said the same thing. He says both. Okay. Okay. Thank you, JD. My brother JD always gonna show love. Okay, so JD said, he's responded. JD said, I feel like it has been okay. Hold on. It could be a typo. I think JD is saying, hold on, JD. I'm trying to understand. Okay, I'm gonna just read what he said. He said, I feel like in a has been and okay, I feel like in a husband and wife business, the load taking will be waived. Sometimes their husband, sometimes the wife. Okay, that's a good perspective. That's a good perspective. So what it sounds like JD is saying is that sometimes the husband might have to take the load and then sometimes the wife might have to take the load. So, I like that perspective. I like that. Okay, JD. All right. All in the family said, I'm claiming it and I know it. Yeah, bro. Y'all gonna blow. We tell y'all that all the time. Okay, JD said, okay. Planet Mimsy said, it's freezing here in Dallas, half an inch of snow and mostly ice. Okay, so Planet Mimsy, you are not who I thought. I thought you were in New York, but you're in Dallas. And it's already snowing? Wow. Okay, and JD is in Waco, Texas. Okay. Um, JD, that's really good to know. Okay, okay. Okay, all in the family. We're going to support you, bro. Okay. So JD just said, I was trying to say in a husband and wife business, the load will come in waves because sometimes the wife will have to take charge and sometimes the husband will have to take charge. JD, my brother, I don't know if you were like that before the military or you became like that after the military, my brother, but I love your perspective on things because it's so intellectual and it's so deep and rich because I wasn't even thinking along those lines, but I totally agree because there have been times where I look at my husband, I'm like, baby, you're so tired. Can you please just go sit down? And he will be trying to help me in the kitchen, help me with the boys. Like he will be trying to take the load off of me, but I'm like, no, I want to take the load off of you. Like I feel like in a marriage, it's so sacrificial. If you have a good partner, I feel like if both of y'all are working to please each other, if both of y'all are working to take the load off of one another, if both of y'all are looking to see how I can make, you know, well, me as a wife, I'll speak for me as a wife. If wives are looking to see how we can make our husbands' lives easier, and then if our husbands are looking to see how they can make our lives easier, how can you lose? You can't lose. If I see my husband is struggling with something, I'm going to help him. If he sees that I'm struggling with something, he's going to help me. If he sees that I need something, he's going to try to, supply my need or meet that need or see how we can come up with some type of arrangement to make sure that the job gets done. But when you're in a situation where bitterness is involved, you can't win. You can't win with bitterness. Um I just feel like in marriage, in business, even in relationships, y'all, forgiveness has to be at the forefront of your mind because nobody is perfect. So when you are looking to become a business owner, an entrepreneur, the CEO of your life or your home, or even you're looking to become something you've never seen before. Like you are looking to become the first of anything in your family. You need support. You need people around you who are going to love on you, who are going to undergird you. You need financial support. You need spiritual support. You need emotional support. Sometimes you might even need physical support. Like sometimes, y'all, my husband is so tired. Like he comes home, his back is hurting, his feet are hurting. Sometimes, well, y'all already know I'll be live and I've been carrying the baby around all day. My back been is spasming out. My back is cutting up because we're carrying some heavy loads, but at the end of the day we are carrying these heavy loads because we don't want our children to have to carry heavy loads. I don't want our kids to be our age still trying to figure out how to start a business. I want our kids to be our age starting businesses for the kids they don't have yet. That's what I desire. Like what type of inheritance can we leave for our kids now so that when they're our age they're looking to leave an inheritance for their kids. Like they're gonna take care of the money that daddy and mommy left them and they're going to steward it well. They're not gonna blow it like the prodigal son, and they're gonna do right by daddy and mommy's hard work. That's what we want. That's what we desire for our kids. And I know all of you on the live who have kids desire the same thing. We don't want to just work hard for nothing. So all right, let's get to some comments and then let's get to this book because the boys are sleeping. My husband is relaxing. As y'all can see, he's still in the chat. Thank you to everybody who's here tonight. Y'all, I'm super excited about this book. Y'all have no idea. I think all in the family cheated a little bit. He read ahead tonight, but it's fine. It's fine. We're gonna start chapter 2. So let me put it up on the screen, baby. Let me put it up on the screen. Let me put it on the screen. Let me put it up on the screen. Okay. Okay. Who likes to read? Who likes to read? Somebody give me some feedback on that. And if you don't like to read, why don't you like to read? Let me put that question in the chat. I'm not gonna change the poll for people who might be coming in a little late because I want to get their feedback as well. But let me know. Oh, and y'all, we had 12 votes tonight. But tell me who likes to read. All in the family say, yeah, I've been reading it. Okay, bro, I know you've been cheating. I know you've been, I know you've been reading it, but ain't nothing wrong with it. Okay, let me see. Y'all, we're starting chapter 2 tonight. And chapter 1, I'm gonna give a brief summary for those of you who might be a little new. And then y'all know how we do. We're gonna jump straight into it. We ain't gonna waste no time with it. Okay. Don't nobody like to read? I know you ain't. Okay. Babe. Babe, the wealthy minded read. The wealthy men read, my baby. But it's fine. Because guess what? What you don't like to do, I like to do. So we're one. And what I don't like to do, you like to do. So it's fine. I got you. I got you, my baby. But the reason why I asked, babe said just being lazy. Okay, it's fine. The reason why I asked who doesn't like to read is because the old saying goes, if you don't want somebody to know something, just put it in a book. If you don't want them to know how to get rich or how to be wealthy in their minds, not just in their wallets, but in their minds, in their homes, in their marriages, in their parenthood journeys, in entrepreneurship, just put it in a book. They'll never find it. If you put it in that book, they'll never find it. Yo, we have to get out of our comfort zones. We have to, and it's 2026. I say it all of the time, but it's 18-year-old millionaires and younger kids and older, well, our elders, they're starting to step out of their comfort zones. They're like, baby, broke who? Who gonna be broke? Not me. Who gonna be broke? So it's the middle age generation, like it's us. We need to catch up. Because the young kids say, baby, look, I ain't working for nobody. I don't care what y'all got going on. I'm not working for anyone. Okay, so I'm gonna create my content. I'm going to travel the world. I'm gonna live life on my own terms, and I'm gonna be at home, or I'm gonna be wherever I want to be. And the older generation too, whether they're retired or not, y'all, no lie. I'm gonna tell you this story, and then we're gonna get into the reading. Y'all, I was scrolling on, and I rarely have time to scroll, but I was scrolling online and my fingers touched something. I don't know. I was doing something with the baby. My fingers touched something, and this older lady was live, and I saw that she posts a video every day, and she goes live every day. And I think my husband saw it, and he said, "Oh," he said, "Oh," but full head of gray, live, had over 100 people watching, live. Okay, praying for people, live, ministering live. And baby said, "Oh," I said, "Oh, mama ain't playing." Somebody, I said, somebody that either took my mom's phone and set it up for her, or my mom and figured it out. So, y'all, we have to definitely step out of our comfort zones in 2026 and do the things that we don't like doing. Like me, I'm a night owl. I'm not an early bird, but I'm becoming an early bird because I understand that, the early bird gets the worm. I want to, I want to get the worm. So I gotta rise and shake. I gotta shake and bake too. Especially with having two boys. But let's get into our reading, guys. I'm really, really, really excited about it. For those of you who may be new, and even if you're not comfortable reading, our style of delivery is very plain, it's very entertaining. I tried to explain this book that was written in 1929 in modern day language in simpler terms. So you might get a die, you might get a though. I will translate it. They are speaking about gold. Of course, we don't have gold anymore. We have gold, but in terms of money or currency, we have dollars. So I'll be translating that. We did finish chapter 1 So now we are reading chapter 2, and the name of this chapter is called The Richest Man in Babylon. So let me give you guys a brief summary, and then I will usher us into chapter 2, because I think we have maybe 7 characters now, I'm not sure, but we have Banser, who is the mechanic. Banser had a dream that he would be rich and wealthy one day, but right now he is not. And he's married, he has kids, he's broke, and his children are broke. And his wife is wondering, why, if I'm hungry, we don't have money for food. If you have work to do and you're not doing the work, what's wrong, Banser? Okay, so we need to get all of that in check. But they're surrounded by wealth, and Banser wants to know how he can acquire wealth for himself. So while Banser is sitting there daydreaming, his best friend Kobe comes by. Kobe is a musician. They both are very skilled in their trade, but they're still broke, right? So now in 2026, we're trying to learn how we can have our gifts work for us. Like, God, you have blessed me to sing, you have blessed me to do hair, you have blessed me to learn how to whelp puppies, you have blessed me to do all of these, skilled trades, but I'm still broke. Why? So in 2026, we are learning how to monetize our gifts for good, and definitely not for evil. Okay, so we have Banser's wife, and Kobe, Banser's best friend, who is a musician. Kobe comes over to Banser's house to ask to borrow some money because Kobe has a gig. He's like, okay, bro, can I borrow $2? I'm gonna give it back to you at the end of the night. I got a little gig. Bouncer says, bro, even if I had it, I wouldn't even loan it to you. So lesson number one, even if you have money to give, sometimes it might not be in your best interest to give it out, even to your best friend, because we all should be saving for a rainy day. That is the biggest lesson that I got from chapter 1. And then Colby and Banser start going back and forth. They start going back and forth talking about how they're surrounded by all of this wealth. They don't understand how other people have figured out how to get wealthy. But here they are with a family and children, and everybody broke around them. But they're in the wealthiest city at that time, and they don't know how to get wealth. And then Colby, who I like his mindset, it reminds me of JD actually. But Colby says, well, we know the richest man in Babylon. So why don't we just go ask him? Okay. If if he figured it out and we know him, why not just go talk to him? So that is the summary of chapter 1. And then Banser takes it a little further and he says, okay, we can go talk to him, but I don't want to go by myself. Okay, let's get all of our homeboys that we grew up with, Kobe. Okay, and we gonna all go talk to the richest man in Babylon, because I just don't want to be rich by myself. I want my whole family and friends. I want all of us to learn how to acquire wealth. So that is where we are, guys. Even if you don't like to read, it's fine. I love reading. I don't mind reading to you guys. But since this book was written in the 20s, it is no longer protected by copyright. So I am able to read this to our community, and I'm so thankful that we are. I'm looking forward to getting to the end of the book so that we can choose another book, because I love our Breeder Business Book Club now. But I'll be patient. So let's start The Richest Man in Babylon, chapter 2. The boys are sleeping. Let's see how far we can get into chapter 2 tonight. Okay. All right. So, chapter 2. I'm excited. Okay. So it says, in old Babylon, there once lived a certain very rich man named Arcad. Okay. So remember, Arcad is supposedly the richest man in Babylon. Far and wide, he was famed for his great wealth. So basically, everybody knew that Arcade had money. Okay. Also, was he famed for his liberality, meaning he could travel the world, he could go wherever he wanted to go. He lived a very liberal life. He was generous in his charities. So not only was he rich and famous, but he was also generous. He gave to the poor. He was generous with his family. Okay, okay. He was okay. He sounded like he was a nice gentleman, because the Bible says, "Give and it shall be given to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." Okay, okay, okay. So not only was he known for his liberality, traveling, being able to do whatever he wanted to do, he gave to charities and he gave to his family. He was liberal in his own expenses. So he lived, like a fast life, if you will. Basically, he didn't have to count his money. But nevertheless, each year his wealth increased more rapidly than he spent it. Okay, so for those of you who just joined, we are reading The Richest Man in Babylon and we're in chapter 2. And there were certain friends of younger days who came to him and said, "You, Arcad, are you more fortunate than we? You have become the richest man in all Babylon while we struggle for existence. You can wear the finest garments and you can enjoy the rarest foods, while we must be content if we can even put clothes on our families' backs that is presentable and feed them the best we can." So basically, his homeboys from his younger days are saying, "Oh, what makes you better than me? How is it that you have acquired all of this, these riches, and you're so famous now? We grew up together, Archive. So tell us the secret." Yet, once we were equal, I'm sorry, let me explain this a little better. This sounds like Archive talking. He says, "Yet, once we were equal, we studied under the same master. We played in the same games, and in neither the studies nor the games did you outshine us. And in the years since, you have been no more an honorable citizen than we." Again, they are trying to figure out how has Arcade managed to acquire such wealth that he doesn't have to count his wallet, his coins, he can bless his family and charities, he can travel the world, do whatever he wants to do, and his money is still making more money. They're trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out too. Okay. If y'all know, let me know. Okay. Okay. So I guess we all gonna know. Okay. After reading The Richest Man in Babylon, it says, "Nor have you worked harder or more faithfully, and so far as we can judge." So from the look of my eyes, baby, I work just as hard as you. So what's going on? Why then should a fickle fate single you out to enjoy all the good things of life and ignore us who are equally deserving? So this paragraph lets me know that it's going to be people in your life, okay, whether you are a breeder, a buyer, or a dog lover, it's going to be people in your life like, uh-uh, uh-uh. Rosharon Frenchie breeders, all in the family. I don't understand. Baby, we grew up together. We grew up together. So tell me how y'all can take your family on a cruise. Tell me how y'all can travel the world. Let me know how you are putting your kids in private school. We grew up together. You're like me, and I'm like you. So what has changed? How come your fate is different than mine? How come you're able to sell out your litters and I can't? How come you're able to blow up on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and I can't? How come you're able to be at home with your children and I can't? We grew up together, so what's going on? Okay, that's what that's saying. I don't know if y'all caught it, but I did. Okay, I'm not saying it. That's what the book is saying. Okay, thereupon Arcade remonstrated. That's the book. It says remonstrated with them, saying, "This is Arcade talking now, the richest man in Babylon." He said, "If you have not acquired more than a bare existence in the years since we were youths, it is because you either have failed to learn the laws that govern the building of wealth or else you do not observe them." So the richest man in Babylon is telling these people who are judging him for doing what he's supposed to do, right? For learning how to get wealth and build wealth and then bless other people with his wealth. He's telling them that if you have not been disciplined in your journey with money and learn how to step outside of yourself and learn how to get out of debt, stay out of debt, and build family legacy, it's because you either failed to learn it or nobody taught you. Okay. Fickle faith is a vicious Fickle faith is a vicious goddess who brings no permanent good to anyone. So now they're talking about other gods. Of course, we don't believe in that, but we're just reading the book. Okay. But it's a vicious goddess that they are believing curses people to not get wealthy. and her name is Fickle Faith. On the contrary, she brings ruin to almost every man upon whom she showers unearned gold. She makes wanton spenders who soon dissipate all they receive and are left beset by overwhelming appetites and desires they have not the ability to gratify. So Fickle Faith she sounds like a seductress woman that causes men to desire appetites that their pockets cannot sustain. And we need to, I'm gonna move on. We need to be aware and we need to beware of fickle faith because there's a whole lot of fickles running around here. Ten, okay. I ain't gonna cut up to it tonight. Okay. Yet others, okay, we just got a message from Tiff. I'm sure she doesn't know we're live, but I'm gonna text her back after the live stream. Okay. Yet others whom she favors becomes misers and hoard their wealth, fearing to spend what they have, knowing they do not possess the ability to replace it. They further are beset by fear of robbers and doom themselves to lives of emptiness and secret misery. So this paragraph is basically saying that fickle faith is a goddess who either curses you or quote unquote blesses you, but the curse is that you'll be broke. And the blessing is you will have wealth, but you'll be so scared to spend it that you live a miserable life. Okay. Second paragraph says, others, well, not the second paragraph, but the next paragraph says, others there probably are who can take unearned gold or money and add to it and continue to be happy and contented citizens. But so few are they. I know of them, but by hearsay. Think you of the men who have inherited sudden wealth and see if these things are not so. So, we talk about it all of the time, leaving an inheritance for our children's children, right? So, that's what they're saying there. Sometimes you can be born into money, right? You will have an inheritance over your life. And then sometimes you have to build wealth and leave an inheritance for your children and their children. His friends admitted that of the men they knew who had inherited wealth, these words were true. And they besought him to explain to them how he had become possessed of so much prosperity that he continued. In my youth, I looked about me and saw all the good things there were to bring happiness and contentment. And I realized that wealth increased the potency of these things, of all these things. So this sounds like this is Arcad talking. So he is basically saying from a child, I grew up seeing that good things do buy happiness or they bring happiness and contentment. And he realized that the only way he was going to be able to acquire those things was to become wealthy. So now it says wealth is a power, and that's absolutely true. It's resources. With wealth, many things are possible, right? Because when you're wealthy, you can choose where you want to live, which we all can choose where we want to live. But when I say choose where you want to live, I mean not have restrictions in terms of the type of house you want, the interior, the exterior, um, who you want your neighbors to be, the type of neighborhood you want to bring your children up in, the type of schools you want your children to grow up in. Um, Wealth can earn you a lot of privileges and options in life. That's the biggest word that I wanted to hone in on. You can have options. Okay. But sometimes having too many options is not a good thing, especially when you're not under the leading and discernment of the Holy Spirit. Okay. So let's continue. Wealth is a power. With wealth, many things are possible. One may ornament the home with the riches of furnishings, which we just talked about. One may sail the distant seas. One may feast on the delicacies of far lands, so to travel and eat the finest foods. One may buy the ornaments of the gold worker and the stone polisher, meaning beautiful jewels and jewelry. One may even build mighty temples for the gods. So even though this book was written in the 20s, they still have religion on their minds. Now, of course, we're not religious. We have a relationship with God. We have been brought into His kingdom to inherit peace and prosperity. Okay, so we're no longer under the law. We are under faith and forgiveness. Okay, so one may do all these things and many others in which there is delight for the senses and gratification for the soul. And when I realized all this, I decided to myself that I would claim my share of the good things of life. So Archive said, wait, I've been exposed to liberality. I want to live a good life. I want to be able to travel the world. I want to be able to eat the finest foods. And I saw this as a child. So it's important to expose our children to things that maybe we didn't see growing up because the moment you start traveling the world, allowing your children to see different cultures, allowing your children to make their own decisions and not be so dependent upon dad and mom, that's how we can expand their minds and allow them to see that, hey, baby, maybe the life that daddy and mommy thought would be good for you, maybe it's not. Maybe there is something that daddy and mommy never learned. And maybe there is a skill and a talent that God has blessed you with that you should go travel the world and explore, right? So in my limiting beliefs, in my baby, don't do that. If I was you, I wouldn't do that. And what if it don't work out? In our fears of trying to protect our loved ones, sometimes we can stifle their growth. Sometimes we can discourage them from exploring their God given talents and really seeing the world for what it is. And we can limit them from exploring, right? Just because as an adult, we may have tried some things out when we were younger, it didn't work out for us. That doesn't mean it's not going to work out for our kids. We got to let them explore too. And sometimes, yes, they will bump their heads, and that's who daddy and that's what daddy and mommy is there for, or there for. All right. So Arcade is pretty wise, you guys. Arcade is pretty wise. Okay. So Arcade is breaking down to them how he developed a mind to build wealth because he saw it when he was younger. All right. Um, I'm gonna start from the top. It says, and when I realized all this, I decided to myself that I would claim my share of the good things of life. I would not be one of those who stand afar off, enviously watching others enjoy. I would not be content to clothe myself in the cheapest raiment or clothes that looked respectable. I would not be satisfied with the lot of a poor man, a house. On the contrary, I would make myself a guest at this banquet of good things. Arcade is a wise man. Arcade said, I don't want to live my life being envious or jealous of other people. I want to get my share. I want to see what God has for me. Being, as you know, the son of a humble merchant who sold things, one of a large family with no hope of inheritance and not being endowed, as you have so frankly said, with superior powers or wisdom, I decided that if I was to achieve what I desired, time and study would be required. I could hang up the phone. I could really throw it right now. I could really throw it. Y'all, hold on. The iPod didn't died. Hold on. I gotta read that again. The wisest man, I'm sorry, the richest man in Babylon just said, is this hold on, y'all. It's echoing. I want to cancel this out. Okay. Wait. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Cause I need to meditate on what we just read because that makes absolutely no sense for this man to be that wise. And like where has this book been my whole life? Because I feel like I would be a little bit more further in life, baby, if somebody would have told me about it. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Still, still could have been a little young and dumb, like the old people say. I can't say the rest because it's very vulgar. Okay, let's read this last sentence again in this paragraph. Archive said, I decided that if I was going to achieve what I desired, time and study would be required. Archive. Y'all, is this making sense? Please, somebody give me some feedback. Time and study would be required. So, what he's saying is, you just can't think to be rich. What he's saying is, you just can't think to be positive. You just can't think to have a good life. You just can't think to leave your kids an inheritance. You can't work hard for it. You need to put in time and you need to study. You need to learn some new things. You need to learn the principles of money. We need to learn the government of wealth. There is a government over wealth. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna continue. But that blessed me. Let me highlight this. I need to highlight this whole paragraph because Brother Archive said, listen, I wasn't blessed with an inheritance. I knew I was gonna have to work for mine. So the only way I was going to acquire this life that I grew up desiring from a little boy was I was gonna have to put in some time and study. And sometimes you don't always have to go to traditional school to learn a new skill. I'm a student by nature. I love to learn because I'm an educator myself. I'm a teacher myself, so I like to be taught. But you don't always have to go to a traditional school, a university, a community college, a anything to learn. Having the right mentors around you can teach you a lot. Being surrounded around people who are doing what you want to do and who are scaling their businesses in the way you want to scale can teach you a lot. But it's going to require time and it's going to require study and for you to be disciplined. One thing that I love about this book so far is that there are a lot of hidden secrets. And I feel like this is a book I need to continuously read. I feel like this is not a book that you read one time because depending on where you are in life, much like reading the Bible, depending on where you are in life, each paragraph or each character or each lesson will mean something differently to you depending on the moment in time that you're reading the book. So as we are preparing to whelp our first litter of the year, the first litter of our second year in business, the first litter with two small kids now being able to walk around, the first litter where we kind of understand a little bit more about breeding, a little bit more about the dog industry, a little bit more about what could go wrong, how quickly you can lose a whole litter. I feel like this book is so timely because it's preparing us for business in the second year of business. It's definitely teaching me some things, and we're not even done with chapter 2. Okay. But hopefully this is making sense, y'all. Give me some feedback in the chat. YouTube wants engaging live streams, not just watchers, but well, we want that too. Let me not just say YouTube, but we want that too. Okay. So let's continue. It says, as for time, all men have it in abundance. As for time, all men have it in abundance, meaning we all have the same 24 hours in a day. You Each of you have let slip by sufficient time to have made yourselves wealthy. So Arcad is saying, baby, we all have 24 hours in a day. The same 24 hours that Elon Musk have, we have. The same 24 hours in a day that Beyonce has, we have. The same 24 hours in a day that Warren Buffett has, we have. The same 24 hours that President Trump has, we have. But the richest man in Babylon is saying, but the people who are not yet wealthy have let time slip away from them. Okay, so what are we doing with our time that we shouldn't be? Let's learn. It says, yet you admit you have nothing to show except your good families, of which you can be justly proud. Listen, I'm going to throw this book at Archive. the richest man in Babylon, because that's a little petty, but it's hurtful. Arcade is saying we all have the same 24 hours in a day. I have wealth to show for my time. I have, blessings for my family to show for my time. I have blessings that I'm bestowing upon charities to show for my time. I have traveled around the world. Like, people know me by name to show for my time. But all you have to show for your time is a good family. I'm gonna slap him for saying that because that hurt my feelings. Okay, let's continue. It says, as for study, so he just broke down what he does with his time. Okay. Now he's talking about studying. As for study, did not our wise teacher teach us that learning was of two kinds? The one kind being the things we learned and knew, and the other being the training that taught us how to find out what we did not know. We just finished talking about this. You can go to school and learn a whole lot or not. Y'all, I have 3 degrees and I feel like I have learned the most in life being a dog breeder. And I'm just being honest. I feel like being married, having children now, and being an entrepreneur has taught me the absolute most I've ever learned in my life. Being a believer, reading my Bible, it's the unsaid, the unspoken things I feel that have taught me the most I've ever learned in my life. It's the nights that I cried, the nights that I was confused, the nights where I felt like I wasn't hearing God clearly, that taught me the most. It wasn't in a classroom, it was in a closet. That's how I feel. I'm not sure how y'all feel, but that's how I feel. And Arcade is saying that right now. In terms of learning, it's two kinds of way to learn. The one kind being the things that you learned and knew, like, okay, growing up, going to school, social studies, science, math. What else we learned in school? And that's a shame that I have to ask. I don't know. I don't even remember because I can't even tell you how many planets there is. I can't tell you the radius that around the sun. I can't tell you those things because it doesn't apply to my life. But what I can tell you is how to make money, how to keep money, how to avoid blowing money. I can tell you how to start a business. I can tell you how to find the love of your life, recognize the love of your life, and make sure that nothing or no one destroys that marriage or that union that God has destined for your life. I can tell you that if you are waiting to have a child and you feel like you are infertile or barren, that just hold on. Because regardless of what doctor is trying to tell you, hold on to your faith because God can and will bless you with a child. I can tell you all of those things. And I didn't learn any of that in the book. Those are those unspoken truths that either you have it in you or you don't. So I love this book. I love where it's going. I love what it's teaching us. And I feel like we will all be better if we just simply apply what we're learning. Because the principle about time, how we all have 24 hours in a day, that grabbed me, that convicted me, and that corrected me. So I need to be even more intentional about my time. The principle about study, about how it's two ways to learn. You learn what you're taught, or you learn through training. Mind blowing, mind blowing. Let me read this last part again. It says the one kind training or learning. The one kind of study being things we learned and knew, and the other being the training that taught us how to find out what we did not know. That's where humility comes in because I feel like you have to be humble enough to realize that, hey, I don't know everything. I should not proclaim to know everything. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything. No one knows everything but God. He's the only one that knows everything, right? So I, as a human being in my flesh, trying to live right, trying to do right by people, trying to love my husband, love our kids, love myself, love these businesses that God has blessed us with, right? I don't know everything. And I have to be okay with saying that. When someone asks me a question, I have to be okay with saying, I don't know. But because I don't know, now you have intrigued my mind. Now I'm going to go figure out what it is that I don't know. So sometimes We can't be so lazy to think and feel that if we don't know, it's fine. It's not fine, especially when you're running a business as serious as whelping puppies. Us not knowing something could be life or death, especially with whelping puppies. It's the I don't knows that takes lives. So ignorance is not bliss. I don't know who came up with that saying, but it's not bliss. The I don't knows, we need to figure that out. We need to figure out the things that we don't know and get around the people who do know to make us stronger. But I hope this is helping you guys. If it is, please give me some feedback in the chat. Um, I know when the live is heavy, 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 y'all like to just enjoy the content, but give me some feedback in the chat if you are able to. Okay, so let's continue because this is good. Okay, so he has broken down to us the two types of study, and now I'm not sure who's talking, but let's see. It says, therefore, did I decide to find out how one might accumulate wealth. And when I had found out, to make this my task and do it well. So he made it his task to find out how people were getting wealthy. For it, for is it not wise that we should enjoy while we dwell in the brightness of the sunshine? For sorrows enough shall descend upon us when we depart for the darkness of the world of spirit. That was a little deep, very spiritual. It sounds like basically he's saying, why not enjoy life while you can? Because when you die, what are you gonna do? You won't be able to enjoy anything while you're asleep, waiting on God to come back. Okay, all right. So let's continue. I found employment as a scribe in the hall of records, and long hours each day I labored upon the clay tablets. Week after week and month after month, I labored, yet for my earnings, I had nothing to show for it. Wait, that sounds like many of us. We work so hard for other people and we still have nothing to show for our earnings. Food and clothing and penance to the gods, and other things of which I could remember not absorb all of my earnings. So basically he's saying I took care of my basic needs and some other stuff and it took all my money. But my determination did not leave me. But he was still determined. So he did work a reasonable job, long hours as a scribe in the Hall of Records, and he was still broke. And one day, Algamish, the money lender, okay, so we're introducing a new character, Algamish, the moneylender, came to the house of the city master and ordered a copy of the ninth law. And he said to me, I must have this in 2 days. And if the task is done by that time, 2 coppers will I give to thee. So, coppers is money. I'm not sure what the translation is now in 2026, but this book was written in the 20s. So, this is Archive speaking. So he said, so I labored hard because he had 2 days to finish this project. But the law was long. And when Algamish returned, the task was unfinished. Y'all, he had 2 days to get paid and he failed. Algamish was angry. And had I been his slave, he would have beaten me. So back in the 20s, I guess they had slaves. And in the time that this was written. But knowing the city master would not permit him to injure me, I was unafraid. So I wasn't scared of Algamesh. Like, what you gonna do to me? Okay, I know you told me 2 days, but it's not done. So what you gonna do? Okay, that's basically what he's saying. But knowing the city master would not permit him to injure me, I was unafraid. So I said to him, Algamesh, you are a very rich man. Tell me how I may also become rich. Okay, let me see. All in the Family said it's getting deep, and that's our legacy legend. Yeah, it's getting deep. It's getting deep. Okay, so Archive, well, younger Archive is hardworking younger Archive who is not yet the richest man in Babylon. came across this very rich man, and he's asking him, tell me how I may also become rich. And hold on, my husband just texted me. Let me see. Okay. My husband just texted me something. Sorry, y'all. All right. I gotta yield for my baby. Okay. Okay. So Arcad is talking to Alchemist. Y'all, break real quick. I literally have this habit. My husband is in the comments and he knows, y'all. Anytime I see a wealthy person, I always stop and ask. I have no shame in my game. Now we're living in 2026. Of course, people perpetrate. A lot of people want to look and exude wealth and they don't yet have it. But I feel like I have a very unusual discernment, and sometimes really wealthy people don't really want to appear to be wealthy. I mean wealthy people, not rich people, wealthy people. They don't want to really appear to be wealthy out in public. They might look refined, right? It's something about them. It's something about them. But my husband will tell y'all, if we are out in public and I spy somebody who looks of importance, baby, I'm gonna strike up a conversation with you. I gotta know what you do. When I am with my husband and we are doing deliveries as a family, I always ask, and you can go watch his videos. I always ask, babe, I wonder what these people do for a living. I'm very curious. Like, what do you do for a living? Because how are you able to afford these houses? What do you know that I don't know yet? Because if it's something that I need to learn, oh, babe, you're so sweet, my baby. That's why I love you. But if it's something that I need to learn or acquire for my family so that we can be blessed in this way too, baby, sign me up, coach. Sign me up. And it has nothing to do with the look. I don't want to just appear to be wealthy. I want to be wealthy in my mind. I want to be wealthy in my spirit. I want to be wealthy, holistically. I want to be a blessing to bless other people. But I always, and baby, like, babe, I be like, wait, I want to know. I want to know what they do. Like, that doesn't intrigue. When you see a wealthy person, it doesn't intrigue you. Like, what do you do, sir? Yeah, I asked. Oh, and please don't let me be on the elevator with them. please, please don't let me be in elbow reach. Baby, I'm gonna strike up a conversation so much, and please don't let me have the merch on. Y'all know, y'all know this whole time y'all have been watching us, and every time you see us, we have our own clothes on. It's for a reason. It's grooming. God has been grooming us for the opportunity. We are not, the military taught us that. You don't miss an opportunity, ma'am. Sir, get it together. You don't miss an opportunity. So every time we step out of this house, baby, I have our clothes on. Why? I'm God is preparing us for the opportunity that we meet someone of wealth, the opportunity that someone might need our services, the opportunity that someone might want us to come and be a guest speaker at their church or for their organization, for a school or for a university. The opportunity, I've even started singing more. The opportunity that the Houston Texans or the Houston Rockets or the Houston Astros might hit your girl up, say, "Hey, Miss Dreeks, can you come bless us with the national anthem?" The opportunity. Don't miss an opportunity. The military taught me that. Always be ready. The Bible says to be ready in season and out of season. So we have been very disobedient here lately. And y'all know I'm going to tell y'all the real. God told us go live every day. I did not understand it. And all in the family, this is for you too, bro. I did not understand how we were going to go live every day. I'm like, God, if you built the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh day, then why are you telling us to go live? I really didn't. In my mind, I didn't understand how or why God told us to go live every day. I'm like we're supposed to rest on the Sabbath. Like I feel like I'm breaking the rules, I'm breaking the law. Why would we go live every day? Like I'm supposed to be resting on Sunday, right? Y'all, it took us to really understand the ways of God and counseling for God to break the limits on my mind. We're going to get back to the book, but I have to explain this. Y'all, we're no longer under the curse of the law. That's why Jesus came to die. He fulfilled the law. We no longer live under these pretenses of what you can and can't do. We've been saved by grace. We've already been forgiven. As believers, we have already been forgiven. So if the devil is trying to convince you in your mind that, oh, you live like this, God will never bless you. If you are being an obedient son and daughter now, God will forever bless you. You're already blessed. There are things that you just don't know yet. So that's why we are spending our time being obedient now. Y'all, we're in the season of obedience. God, whether I look a mess or not, whether my skin is broke out or not, whether I'm tired or not, baby, I'm gonna show up for you because of all that you have done for me and my family, all that you have done for my mind, all that you have brought me through over the years, all that I could not see then, but I see now. I'm gonna make myself available to you. So whoever you need me to talk to, I'm gonna talk to them. That's what I've learned. So when God said go live every day, I'm like, how and why? And what are we going to talk about? Y'all, in deep, deep, deep prayer, God just started downloading and downloading and downloading and downloading. And I don't know if you understand like the term downloading, but I just started receiving revelation on how we're going to run the business. That's why I asked you guys earlier, who is supposed to carry the load, the husband or the wife? And I'm so happy JD said both, because yes, there are times that the husband will carry the load and there are times that the wife will carry the load, but there are a lot of times, more than not, that the two will walk as one, as a braided coil that no man will separate. And I hope that y'all are encouraged because I feel so much better choosing to be obedient now. I didn't understand then that God was trying to break the curse of laziness in my life, in my mind. He was trying to break the curse of excuses. God was trying to get me to see that, hey, you're not relying on your own strength. That's why I told you to be obedient to me and go live every day. You're not relying on your own strength. You're not relying on your own wisdom and knowledge. Okay. That's why we name trust, so that we can trust in the Lord with all of our hearts and lean not unto our own understanding. And in all of our ways, acknowledge Him so He can direct our path. So He can direct our paths. So we're not doing this because of us. Because if you left it up to me, I would be in the bed with my husband and my kids right now. But it's someone or some it there are people that God wants us to meet. There are businesses that He wants us to bless. There are minds that He wants us to open for Him. So whatever it is that y'all need to take from us, learn from us, whether it's dog breeding, dog whelping, dog care, learning how to strengthen your mind to hold, to be able to hold a heavier mental load. Um, if you're praying for God to open your capacity for you to be more disciplined with your time and in your study, y'all, we are all about it. Babe, thank you so much for blessing the business tonight and blessing my teaching. I love you so much. Thank you for acknowledging me as the leader of our home. But Pace Deliver said, that's a great book. Everyone in 2026 should download it and read it. Amen. That is so wise for you to say. And I know a lot of people have been coming on, dropping off, coming on, dropping off. But if you are still here and you missed the beginning, definitely watch the replay because we are deep in chapter 2 and it's getting good. But I feel like I needed to say that for somebody. Okay. So let's go back into the book. I don't know how much time I have. My husband will let me know. But we will continue. All right. Okay, guys. If y'all have any questions, please let me know. All right. So I'm going to pick up right here. Okay. So we're talking about Arkad, the younger Arkad who wasn't yet rich, and he is asking Algamish how he became rich. Okay. So Arkad said, so I labored hard, but the law was long. So it looks like he needed to transcribe something. And when Algamish returned, the task was unfinished. He was angry, and had I been his slave, he would have beaten me. But knowing the city master would not permit him to injure me, I was unafraid. So I said to him, Algamish, you are a very rich man. Tell me how I may also become rich, and all night I will carve upon the clay. And when the sun rises, it shall be completed. Arkad just made a life changing move right here. He has access to a rich man. And when you have access, baby, take advantage of it. Don't abuse it, but use it. It's something that you know that I don't know. So what do you know? That's basically what he's saying. Arkai said, he smiled at me and replied, "You are a forward knave, but we will call it a bargain." So the very rich man is saying, "Oh, you good. Oh, you good." Okay. So Algamesh is saying, "I know you gave me 2 days to finish this project. I didn't finish it. You can't beat me because you don't own me. I'm not your slave. But if you tell me how you have acquired your wealth, I'm gonna finish this project for you." And the rich man said, "You good, you got me. I need this project, finish it, and I'm gonna tell you." So Arcad, the younger Arcad is saying, "All that night I carved, though my back pained and the smell of the wick made my head ache until my eyes could hardly see. But when he returned at sunup, the tablets were complete." So it looks like the older Arcade, who wasn't yet rich, had to transcribe something on tablets. So back in the day, they didn't have paper and pen like we do now. It looks like he had to use a candle wick to carve out the lettering or the scripts on a tablet of stone. And he got it done. Back was hurting, knees hurting, just like my husband, head hurting, but he got it done because he had access. So when we have access, we're not going to lose it. We're going to use it. He had access and an opportunity to gain wisdom, wealth, and knowledge from a rich man. So why not take advantage of it? Okay. We're taking advantage of it in 2026. We ain't losing access. Okay. So Arcad is talking to Algamesh and he said, "Now I said, tell me what you promised." Okay. So my end of the bargain is complete. Baby, I know it wasn't ready in 2 days, but it's ready now. So now tell me what I want to know. So this is Algamesh talking. He said, "You have fulfilled your part of our bargain, my son," he said to me kindly, "and I'm ready to fulfill mine. I will tell you these things you wish to know because I am becoming an old man. And an old tongue loves to wag," meaning the old people love to talk, basically. So before I pass away, I'm going to give you my wealth and my wisdom. Wealth, not in terms of money, wealth in terms of mind. Okay. "And when youth comes to age for advice, he receives the wisdom of years." Let's read that again. "And when youth comes to age," okay, so when the young matures, he will receive the wisdom of years. Okay, okay, so Arkai was young. Okay, so basically he's saying, you good, baby? Okay, so basically he's saying, when I'm gonna give you this wisdom as a young buck, but you might not be able to use it until you age a little bit. Okay. But he's gonna tell him. He's gonna tell him. Okay. So let's continue, y'all. "But too often does youth think that age knows only the wisdom of days that are gone, and therefore profit not. But remember this: the sun that shines today is the sun that shone when your father was born, and will still be shining when your last grandchild shall pass into darkness." So Algamish, the rich man, is telling the young Arcad, who is not yet rich yet, that the same sun that shine on you or me in my old age is the same sun that's gonna shine on your grandkids. Okay. "The thoughts of youth," he continued, "are bright lights that shine forth like the meteors that oft, often make brilliant the sky. But the wisdom of age is like the fixed stars that shine so unchanged that the sailor may depend upon them to steer his course. Mark you well my words, for if you do not, you will fail to grasp the truth that I will tell you, and you will think that your night's work has been in vain." Okay, so Algamesh is kind of giving a disclaimer. I'm going to tell you what you asked me, but you might not want to accept what I'm about to tell you. Basically, that's what he's saying. Okay. Then he looked at me shrewdly from under his shaggy brows and said in a low, forceful tone, I found the road to wealth when I decided that a part of all I earned was mine to keep. And so will you. Uh-oh. Hold on now. Hold on. Let me highlight that. He said, I found the road to wealth when I decided that a part of all I earned was mine to keep, and so will you. That's how he got wealthy. He started saving, even having bills. He started saving. Y'all, m- my husband and I think last year we made it our goal. We can't spend every dollar we touch. It doesn't matter how many bills we have. It doesn't matter. The whatever. We cannot spend every dollar we touch. So what are we going to do? We're going to save it. We're going to lock it away. We're not going to touch it. Come what may, hey, God will supply, but that's our philosophy. And I'm so happy we read that. We're reading this in this book. I found the road to wealth when I decided that a part of all I earned was mine to keep because I'm working for it. I'm working for it. So why am I working to give everybody my money that I earned? A part of what I earned is mine to keep. Lesson number 2. That this is the second thing that I've highlighted in this book. Don't give your last fortune to your best friend. And the second principle that I learned was, well, no, third principle. First principle, don't give your last fortune to your best friend. Second principle is if you want to get wealthy, invest your time and study. Third principle is blissful fun. Thank you, Bliss. Girl, we have a whole book club now, girl. Let me show you the book we're reading. So we're reading The Richest Man in Babylon, Bliss, because it has some ancient secrets and not just how to get rich, but how to build wealth, how to keep wealth, and how to bless other people with your wealth and teach them how to do the same. So that's what we have going on tonight. I'm not sure if you know, but we just bred Miss Dream Girl. Very, very, very expensive breeding. And we've already spent $2,546 on that breeding. We're praying that it will be successful. We bred her to a blue chocolate Merle tri stud. So we have a lot going on. We have a lot going on. But we're in chapter 2 of The Richest Man in Babylon, and we have been learning a lot. So we are expanding our business and our minds to equip people with business, wealth, and knowledge. And not just, breeding, whelping, and dog training, but wealth building. So that's what we're talking about tonight. But I'm so happy you stopped by. And I hope you can stick around. Okay. So third principle that I highlighted in the book was that this rich man said that he found the road to wealth when he decided that a part of all he earned was his to keep. And he is hoping that Arcad would do the same thing. So the text is saying, then he continued to look at me with a glance that I could feel pierced me, but he said no more. Arcad said, is that all? And the man said, that was sufficient to change the heart of a sheep herder into the heart of a money lender, he replied. So basically, he said that if all you get from this conversation today is to save a portion of every dollar you earn because it's yours to keep because you earned it, you're going to become rich and wealthy. That's basically what he's saying. And that's all he said. Okay. And he's saying that if you learn this one skill, because money management is a skill, it's something that we all have to learn. We're not born understanding how to manage money. But this rich man is to Algamesh is telling the younger Archive, who will become the richest man in Babylon, that if you learn this one skill, The sheep herder, meaning the hard worker, the field worker, will become the money lender. That's powerful. I'm so happy he said that. That is so powerful. Okay. All right. But all I earn is mine to keep. Is it not? I demand it. So Arkad is now questioning the rich man, Algamish. So he said, wait, how is all that I earn mine to keep? So Algamesh said, far from it, he replied, do you not pay the garment maker? Meaning, do you not buy your clothes? Do you not pay the sandal maker? Do you not buy shoes? Do you not pay for the things you eat? Do you not buy food? Can you live in Babylon without spending? Can you exist in the world without spending a dollar? What have you to show for your earnings of the past month? What do you have to show for the past year? You fool. It's getting good, y'all. You pay to everyone but yourself? Dullard. You label, you, he said, dullard, you labor for others. As well, be a slave and work for what your master gives you to eat and wear. Mm-mm. If you did keep for yourself 1/10 of all you earn, how much would you have in 10 years? Y'all, listen, wait. Hold on. I need to do the math. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I want to do the math because we are praying to not just have six-figure businesses, but to keep them and to grow them and have these businesses, right? Make money and then have that money create other businesses. So I want to know, okay, so let's do the math. Hold on. Hold on. Let's do the math. I want to know. Hold on. We got to do the math. A tenth of $100,000 is $10,000. So every year, right? If we are praying for six-figure businesses, which is not hard to attain at all, either you will sell a lot of a little or you will sell a little of a lot. And when I say sell a lot of a little, you will sell a lot of lower price items, or you could sell a little of higher price items, right? It just depends on the market that you're in. We sell little puppy babies. We also have our custom apparel products that we sell. So we have digital and physical products. We are also acquiring active and passive income by being content creators. So either you will have multiple streams of income and you will diversify your portfolio of income to acquire $100,000, or you can work a job as well and still earn six figures. But if the goal is to have a six-figure business, right, we need to be saving $10,000 a year. I'm offended because we haven't done that yet. And if God calls us to tithe a tenth, right? And if we were created in the image of God, then yeah, we should be saving a tenth too. So we're only in chapter 2, and I've learned so much about money already because these things were never taught to me, right? So either you're taught or you acquire it by training. So now we're in training. Before this litter comes, we definitely need to have a better relationship with money. We cannot spend every dollar that we touch. We have to start saving, even with bills, even while we are in debt. And as long as you have a mortgage, you are technically still in debt, even with credit card debt, even with unforeseen circumstances. If we are running a six-figure business, we need to be saving $10,000 a year. And it's a non-negotiable. And I pray that this live stream blesses and touches someone tonight, because even if one person, if one family gets it, our job is done. Even if the 1% of people get it. And normally that's what the conversion is. It's 1%. Every 10 out of every 10 people you help, maybe one person will turn around and say thank you. I mean, that's just the conversion. It's the top 1%. So even if we get it tonight and then out of the 10 families or 12 families that God allows us to help, one family gets it and they start saving $10,000 a year and they look up and in 10 years they have saved $100,000 to then fund and start another business. Y'all, we've done it. We've done our jobs. The goal is to get out of debt, stay out of debt, and teach families how to do the same thing. And in memberships, we teach content creators how to turn content into cash. You can do a whole lot of damage with $10,000. And when I say damage, I mean you can take your family on a family vacation. You can invest in other businesses and take care of medical issues that might come up that you might not plan for. We just literally took the boys to the doctor yesterday and had to pay $500, like unexpected. Like that's why we have insurance. Like why are we having to come out of pocket for a same day sick visit? But it wasn't covered, so we had to pay it. But saving $10,000 a year will cover things like that. You know, the weather is bad. It could flood in Texas. It could snow. Pipes could burst. You know, we need to have emergency funds and we need to protect our investments. And it's wise to do that. So every dollar that we earn should not be given to other people. We earned it. So we need to be keeping a 10. We give God a 10, we keep a 10. So 20% of everything that we earn needs to be going somewhere other than to other people. And their businesses are there for their gain. And I'm not being rude, I just have to be forward. But I hope this is making sense. Babe, is this making sense? Let me know. Because this is our charge. Now we can't say we don't know how to manage money because we're learning. But we will start saving. We will make it our goal to save $10,000 a year, and in 10 years, we need to look up and have 100,000, and that's the goal. And I need to write that down somewhere because that is not our goal. All right, and I pray I never forget it because it's really that serious, and we will teach our children to manage their money in that way as well. All right. It looks like the stream is cutting up a little bit, guys. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's looking a little blurry on my end. Give me some feedback and let me know if you are having some intermittent issues. But I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue. I'm not gonna let that stop me. All right. I'm getting a lot from the book tonight. Okay. New money management goal, save 10,000 a year in 10 years, acquire or have saved 100,000. All right, let's continue. So we are on page 13. If you guys are following along in the book, I did post the link for you to download the book in our community tab. Um my husband is texting me again, but let me see. Okay. Uh okay, babe, let me know if you need me to cuz I will. I can stop for 5 minutes if you need me to. Just let me know. Okay. All right, y'all. This is so good. And I know I'm over time tonight, but let me see. Are we almost done with the chapter? Oh, y'all I might have to stop. Y'all, this chapter is deep. Okay, I can stop. My baby needs me. Okay. I'm just gonna read the end of page 13. That way I will know we're picking back up on page 14. Tomorrow, God spare life. And praying that we have Wi-Fi. Cause um and power, but we'll see. Okay. We definitely want to be obedient to our live stream schedule. But we'll see. Okay. So y'all, the end of page 13, still in chapter 2, reading the richest man in Babylon says, then he continued to look at me with a glance that I could feel pierce me, but said no more. Arcade asked, is that all? I asked. That was sufficient to change the heart of a sheep herder into the heart of a money lender, he replied. So that is what the rich man told Arcade. So we hope that you guys were blessed tonight reading The Richest Man in Babylon. If y'all missed it, if you're watching the replay, please go over to our community tab and download the book, guys. It's free. This book was written in the 1920s, 1929 to be exact, by George Clayson. And the reason why I wanted to start reading to you guys is because we are in another YouTube training, and a content creator that we met in training told us that she reads to her community. And I was like, what? Like, she said, we have a book club and everything. And I said, what? And I didn't ask her this. We were in a breakout room, like a breakout group, and no facilitators, just content creators. And we were all new, like nobody knew anything um, about like how the breakout room would work. And we were all sharing our ideas, talking about how to grow our platforms, talking about how to improve our memberships, because we are in a membership YouTube training this time. Last time we were in the YouTube shopping training and boot camp, but this time we are specifically being trained on memberships, right? But y'all, she said, yeah, I started my channel. I blew up off of a post that I made showing my grandmother. It had nothing to do with me. And I just feel like I got a whole lot of subscribers and a whole lot of traction on a topic that doesn't have anything to do with me. And she kind of expressed how, she's passionate about reading, and that's what she does with her community. And I said, oh my God, I love reading. And I said, oh my, in my heart, I said, oh my God. I was like, I think our members could benefit a lot from these lessons found in these ancient books. And I was just like, I want to, well, it had been on my heart anyway. To make a long story short, it had been on my heart anyway. I've always wanted to start a book club. I think I may have started one or been in one in my late teens, but I've always been an avid reader. And now, being at home with the boys, I have more time. Even late at night, I still research and read before I go to bed every single night. It doesn't matter. I could be tired out of my mind. I'm going to read something to go to bed at night. And I just thought, when I heard her say that, that was just such confirmation for me, for our business, because I have been wanting to read to you guys for a very long time. And then I found this book, and I saw that it was no longer protected under copyright. And I said, oh, baby, the deal is done. The deal is done. When can we start? And now that we have Bread Dream and we are committed to daily live streams to grow our business and to build that muscle, to push past the I don't feel like it, the I don't want to, the I might not look my best, baby, that's out the window. We're gonna show up anyway. We're gonna show up anyway with kids crying, with exhaustion. Uh, we're gonna show up anyway. So tonight's topic was on the mental load of breeding while raising babies and bulldogs, and whether you are married or not, whether you have children or not, it can be done. Whether you are on fixed income or not, it still can be done. We've gone through it all. We have learned, we have lost, and now we are living witnesses. Excuse me, that it can be done with a toddler and a baby. It can be done. Whether you're broke or broken in spirit, it can be done. So y'all learn from us, glean from us, and ask us any questions that y'all have about dog breeding, dog whelping, dog care. Remember that memberships is open. We currently have two tiers. We have the Dream Catchers tier, which is currently for those of you who want to learn by observation and you just want like the overview of information. And then we have our Legacy Legends tier, which is for those of you who are saying, nah, tag me and coach, I'm ready to go. For those who want hands-on tutorials and the behind the scenes content and the real nitty-gritty. But I love you guys so much. I hope that you were inspired. I hope that you learned something tonight. I feel much better. I feel like one of my New Year resolutions have already been answered. Like a lot of prayers that I had prayed all throughout my life, actually. I feel like they were answered tonight. So we will continue to pray for you guys. We know the weather is getting bad here. Some people have already been affected. We know flights are being canceled. Y'all be safe. Schools are being closed. Businesses are closing as well. I pray we don't lose power, but if we do, know that we love you guys. And we will definitely talk to you soon. But remember that the same old story is the same good news. We love y'all. We will see you soon.